Welcome back to Crypto Disco, everybody. Thanks for a few fine, nice comments. People concerned about safety. I've been good from the hurricane. Finally, just got power back on. We have some neighbors not so lucky, and our folks and friends just over the border, North Carolina, are doing much worse, as I'm sure you've seen in the news. But want to get back on here, talk about XCN again. Got some interesting things going on and some good news, and talk about it a little bit. First, we'll take a look at the price action here right at the end of the month. I don't know if it's people taking profits or what, but September was mostly a green month across the markets. Had a good pump, and then just this week, Bitcoin tanked here the certain couple of days, and everything else followed. But September was a green month, and we'll look into the history of what happens in September and October and November, especially in election year here in a minute. But we were looking good here at the end of the month, at the end of last week, and we're up to 0.0016. And then boom, it started tanking down, and we're still in the red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later. The one thing to note here on this channel, you'll see you have descending, kind of a descending flag. It's not real good because it went sideways a little bit here back in May. But you can see how this trend line kind of broke out, and this was, don't know what this is, probably a lack of liquidity, so price got pushed up for some huge buyers. Comes down here, tests the line. Sorry, the line's not the greatest, but this is just so you get the idea. Then we start moving back up. So we had a lower low here on the trend line, so we broke out of the trend line, come back down, touch the trend line, come sideways, and then we come back up. And so the thing is, we didn't get a higher high here, but we came down, we got a higher low. And this is really important. We didn't come down to the same low or lower low, came to higher lows, which a lot of times shows a reversal in trend. So then we went sideways a little bit. We didn't get a higher high, but then we got another higher low. Not as profound, but we can see it. Then we come up and we get a higher high. So this is the month of September. We were looking at a real green September, looking really good. But I think it just made, for the month, it was just barely green for XCN. Now we're coming down. But what I want to see here is this candle bounce. So this is the fifth one. I don't want to see any more red candles after today, but I want to see this bounce and come back up and go for a higher high. We need to bust through the 0016 mark and head up towards the 10018, which is really kind of the next line of resistance before we get to 20. So that's kind of what we're looking at on price in the short term. But long term, and not just XCM, but the markets in total. Take a look at this research that Kazan did. One of the guys that I've followed just for different things, and just anecdotal. Obviously, I haven't verified it, so I'm assuming this is correct. But saying that 80% of Octobers were green, 100% of election years had a green October, November, December, and 100% of the years with a green September, which we just had a green October, November, and December. September is green, and this is an election year. Hard not to be bullish. Agreed. Like, plus it's a halving year, right? And which happens on election year. So we had a green September, and it's an election year, so expecting to have a green October, November, and December. So really bullish here for October. Obviously, there's some huge factors at play. Potential war with Iran and Israel, which people are speculating. People are dumping Bitcoin for gold, which if you're holding Bitcoin, why would you do that if you actually know what Bitcoin is? So potential World War III stuff going on. The strike at the ports, where they're trying to do, I say trying because I'm a little bit conspiracy theorist, but shutting down the ports for who knows how long, going to create shortages again. So it could impact the economy really negatively. So it'll be really interesting. So outside of some external factors, traditionally we're going to looking at a bullish Q4, and see some price movement going up north. So that'll be good to see. So going back to some announcements from Onyx, they pinned this after the debacle with the NFT that got drained for 3.8 million VUSD. The XCN token contract is always on Ethereum, so the token address, the contract address is always on there. Same thing for staking and governance. So just keep that in mind. And so they have another proposal going down for winding down the existing money market on the V2 lending markets and removing the VSDU on it and reimburse the V2 users that were affected on that. So that's good to see that they're going to fix that, where that weak link, where that NFT contract got drained. And tomorrow they have an AMA scheduled. Um, they're going to select 10 questions and additional questions they'll answer if they can. 3 winners will receive $500 in USD prices. So go in and submit some questions, anything you want to. I submitted a question I really want to know about RWAs and the status of that and how that's going to be implemented. I think they answered the mail pretty well on that NFT contract that got drained. So I don't really have any more questions on that. Um, so we'll go from there. And this is really big, which is awesome because nobody likes gas fees. If you follow my channel at all, you see I post about scale. I hold some scale, and because scale is all about no gas fees for the users. But so they're putting a proposal for no gas fees for stakers and voters because there's gas fees if you want to vote on the proposals, and then an ambassador program. So really interested to see what that looks like. I imagine that'll get passed without any problems. So nice to see that more progress. And it's now supported by KuCoin. More big news there. And this is really cool here. So they're trying to recover the funds from the hacker that drained the VUS, the 3.8 million VUSD. So offered a 20% bounty for the recovery of the funds. And also they send a note out to the hacker itself that requesting 8% back, and they'll get to keep 20% of the funds. And after if they don't return within 70 days, the information from third parties will be moving forward to identify the hackers to authorities, and they have the addresses they've put out there. So really, really interested to see how this moves along and if they're going to make any progress about that, because obviously it's super difficult to reclaim funds after hacks when wallets get drained. So we'll be interested to see if the hacker is going to be like, oh yeah, I'll just keep, $600,000, $720,000, give you 80% back, and then boom, that's it. Or if they're just going to run with it. I imagine if it's well, I'm not going to imagine because I have no idea. We'll see what happens. So we'll stay tuned to that. New white paper, haven't had a chance to go through it either because I said power has been out. Haven't been able to spend much time on the computer, but we'll take a look at that and give some updates with anything else is on there. But that's pretty much it. And talk about Onyx Core a little bit. What do you guys think? Um, Staking APR has gone up. It's been about 37%. Which is awesome after the proposal just passed. It had dropped down to 17, 18%, then got bumped back up after the proposal. I've got the AMA. So what do you guys think? This is the type of period I just added to my bag yesterday. Like, oh man, I should have waited one more day, but you never know when you have fiat available. Add to your bags whenever you can, especially at these prices, because bull market only happens once every 4 years. You don't want to miss out. What do you guys think? Anything else you guys want to talk about? And let me know in the comment section. And I'll be on here again as I start getting caught up on work and everything else after the power being out from the hurricane. And always like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.